Hi Bob and Deb, this is Lena with Century Communities, and today I'm going to be introducing, this is your beautiful home, and I'm going to be introducing you to Tim, who is the construction manager here that manages the construction of your beautiful home. So we're going to be doing the pre-drywall orientation now, and he will be explaining everything to you.
Hello, thanks for joining us today. I'd like to give you a quick tour of your home before we put the drywall in so that it gives you a chance to see the electrical, the plumbing, and the heating systems that are installed in your house, and just give you an update as to the progress of your house at this point. So what we will do is start at the curb. This will be your driveway approach here. This is a rolled curb. It is not going to be a flattened out curb, so there will be a bump that goes up into your driveway. Right now we have the rock base down, so for our deliveries and so on. When we do our driveway, we will be taking that out, and then we'll be grading it for the driveway later. But it does give you a good outline as to where your driveway will be. Your garage is on the right hand side on this home. And right now we are framed, and we have the roof installed, the windows installed, so and the siding will be starting very soon. In fact, your siding delivery is already here. It's been delivered. So we'll start over at the utilities. We have your water meter box right there, and that is already installed and operational. And then we have communication boxes here, and then we have your temporary power pole, which will be getting taken out when we do the permanent power at a later time. And then your gas line also starts at this point and then goes to the house. So all of this, where the water meter is and your communication, will all be visible. The landscaping will go around those areas. Your power will be underneath the ground, and then if you follow the gray conduit, it will go underneath the ground and it'll come up on the side of your garage, where it will get mounted to the side of your garage down there. In fact, it's already there right now, the electrical meter. Your gas meter will be at the front of the home, right here. So your gas line will come up out of the ground and will be mounted right here with your gas meter, and then your electrical meter, and then the black pipes right here are for your communication. And we have Wave out here. We do not have Comcast, it's Wave. And then we have a hose bib that's on the side of your garage for washing cars and things like that. And there will also be one on the back side of the home also. So we'll go inside the garage. We do have your garage slab poured. One thing with concrete is concrete does crack, has a tendency to crack. You're pouring a solid surface on dirt that can potentially move. So we do have a pea gravel base that's underneath this that's compacted. But anytime that you pour concrete, including your driveway, your porches, patios, you may get hairline cracks that go across them. So one of the things we do is put expansion joints in the concrete, and your driveway will have the same thing. So if you have a small crack that travels across your garage floor, it will go to the expansion joint, and then it will follow the expansion joint rather than going all the way across the entire garage. So in this corner, this is the continuation of your gas line. This is the main natural gas line here, and this is a grounding point. And at our next walkthrough, hopefully you can be here in person for that. We'll explain this into more depth at that point. This is your electrical panel. You have a main breaker switch at the very top, so if you ever had an emergency where you needed to turn off all the power to your entire house, you just flipped a switch and you just turned off all the power to your entire house. Then you have your individual breakers down here, and they are all labeled. So if something isn't operating correctly, then you can come out into the garage, check your breaker panel, and see if any of the breakers are tripped. We also label all of the wires that go into your breaker panel in case you ever needed to do any maintenance or change out this panel. And another electrician would be able to follow these wires, and they would know where these wires go because they're all labeled. You do have power outlets throughout the home. And this is the plumbing pipe that is for the hose bib that's on the outside of the garage for washing cars. And notice that it is a plastic PEX pipe. It's called PEX. Very durable pipe. It's a hose actually. There's a lot of benefits to using this plumbing, and all the plumbing in your home is this PEX pipe. It does expand and contract better than copper, so you don't get as like freezing bursts and things like that. And this also, copper comes in 10-foot lengths. So every time you come to the end of a 10-foot length or you need to turn, you would have to solder in a joint. And with this hose, it comes in big rolls, and they can run it from one end of the house to the other, and you get rid of all those joints that could be possible leaks. Okay, over in this corner, this is where your hot water heater is going to be. You have a tankless system, so it's only going to heat the water when you need it. And you have a power outlet for that tankless hot water heater, and the gas line for it, because it is operated with gas. Every one of your gas appliances is going to have an emergency shutoff on it. So your fireplace, your cooktop, actually your furnace, your hot water heater will all have these emergency shutoffs. The easiest way to remember is if this lever is in line with the pipe, that means it is on. And if you turn it sideways, that turns it off. That way, if you just need to do maintenance on this one unit, you could turn off the gas to this one appliance and not have to turn off the gas to the entire home. Now, since it does also work off of electricity, if your power goes out, you will not have hot water immediately because it heats the water up as you need it. It does not have a tank that has 50 to 75 gallons of preheated water. Here's another look at some of the piping that we have. So the red PEX pipe is for hot water. The blue PEX pipe is for cold water. So the cold water would come out here, go up into your heating system, and then come back down and then go into the red pipe after it gets heated. This line right here is your main water supply line. All of the water that comes into your home comes through this pipe right here. And this is directly connected to the water meter. It does have an emergency shutoff on it. So just like the gas line, as I was explaining, if it is in line with the pipe, that means it's on. And if you turn it sideways, I just turned off the entire house with water. So then you would just turn it back on, and then that would start your water flow again. This we will go into more depth at the next walkthrough also. This is how you winterize the hose bib that's on the side of your garage. So when it starts getting cold, you would need to turn this off, go outside, turn the nozzle and let the water drain out, and then just leave it like that. And then in the springtime, you turn this back on, and then that would turn the water back on to your hose bib outside. You will have a step that goes into your home from the garage into the home. And, excuse me, your garage will be drywall and it will be fire taped, which means that it will not be textured, it won't be sanded, and it won't be painted. You'll actually still be able to see the white lines for the joints and the screws. These are seismic straps right here. You're only looking at about half of this strap. The other half of the strap is poured into the concrete when it's wet. And then it's dried inside the concrete. And then you can see all these nails here, that those are all fastened to the solid members that are behind the wall, all the studs. You do have a garage door opener that was on your options list. So up in the ceiling of the garage, there is a power outlet, and then there's a low volt. There are the two rectangle boxes in the ceiling. And the low volt wires, one of those goes to each side of the garage. And these will be connected to the sensors that go across the opening of your garage. It's basically a laser beam. If you break the laser beam, then your garage door will go back up. And then one of the other low volt wires comes over here where the button will be attached to the wall to be able to turn on the light on your opener, and also to open up the garage door. And then you do have a light switch right here, because you do have a light inside the garage also, besides the one that comes with the garage door opener. As we look on the other wall of the garage, you do have power outlets over here. Any of the walls that are adjoining living space will get insulation, but any of the exterior walls where your electrical panel is will not be insulated, or the front wall where the big garage door is will not be insulated. So technically you do not have an insulated garage. Okay? So we can go inside the home. Immediately to the right is going to be the powder bath. So you have the cold water that's coming down the wall here, and then that is the water supply for your toilet, the drain for the toilet, the hot and cold water supply, and the drain for the powder sink. And then you'll have a mirror that goes over the top of the sink, and then you have a light fixture at the top. And the light fixture will have 2 lights on it. There is a heat source up in the ceiling right as you walk through the door. And there's also a fan, a bath fan here that exhausts out the side of the home. Okay. You have a little nook area here. Be able to put a cabinet or anything, like a drop zone if you wish. And then there is a light up in the ceiling and another heat source up in the ceiling. As we come into the dining room area, we have power outlet down low. We have the light switch that's for the 2 can lights that are on your covered patio. And then sliding glass door. And every one of your doors or the glass doors and the windows, anything that opens will have screens on them. And they're double pane windows and sliding glass door. So throughout the home, I won't point out every one of them because there's so many in this home, but every 12 feet of wall space you will get a power outlet. So you'll have a lot of power outlets all throughout the home. Okay? I do want to point out, because on your options list you did choose the gas for your barbecue. So that is the gas line that's for your barbecue. It's on your back patio. You got a nice sized backyard. That's going to be a big yard. And then you also have a power outlet that's on your back patio back here. Okay. As we go into the kitchen, you'll have some cabinets that start in this area right here. So you have cabinets here, you'll have your quartz top, and you have a power outlet on the end of the island. So you'll notice that we have a power outlet that's down low in this area. That is about where your cabinets will start. And then, so picture your cabinets starting right here, and then you'll have a backsplash of tile, and the power outlets that are in the tile are going to be horizontal, not vertical. A lot more of the PEX pipe. This is for your kitchen area. And then more power outlets. And then in this location underneath your kitchen sink, you have the hot water that's for the dishwasher, and then you have hot and cold water that is for the sink. And then this cable, the electrical wire that I'm holding here, is for the garbage disposal and also for the dishwasher. And then the drain for the dishwasher and for the sink. Coming into this corner, we have more power outlets that will be in the tile backsplash. And then we have the air conditioning line set that's in this corner. So it's on the opposite corner of where your back patio is. So the fan will sit on the outside of this wall right here in the back corner. You do have heat source up above in the ceiling. And then the metal light fixtures that you see, the metal boxes, those are for the recessed can lights. Every light bulb in this home will be LEDs, whether it's the screw-in vanities, for the pendants, or for the floods for the recessed lights, everything will be LED. You do have two pendant lights that are going to hang down over the top of your island right here. Then as we come into this corner, come into this corner, this is where your push-in stove is going to go, and your cooktop. Your cooktop runs off of gas, and the oven part of it will run 220 electric. So we do have a gas line that's down there, and then we have the power that's 220, and then another power outlet. We come up here, and then this is going to be where your micro hood, because it has a fan on it. So this is where that vents to the outside. And then we have the power up there for the microwave. As we come into this corner, this is where your refrigerator is going to go. So you have the cold water for your refrigerator and the hookup, and then the power for your refrigerator. You have a pantry right here, so you'll have 4 rows of wire shelves, and this will have a door on it. Coming into the family room, you have power outlets down low, and then this is going to be the fireplace switch. You do have a gas fireplace, which is installed. And much like the hot water heater, if the power goes out, then the fireplace runs off of gas and electricity, and you need both to start it. But the fireplace actually has a battery backup that's located down below, where you can put 2 D-sized batteries in it, and then you can, that will take the place of the electricity. So you can actually run this when the power is off, and this will heat up this area very nicely. They throw out a lot of heat. We install what we call Smurf tubes, and a power outlet for a television that would go up above the fireplace. And so we have the power, and then we have this tube where you can put all your cables from your television down through this tube, and you can follow it around, and then it'll pop out down below here. So you could put your cable box and things like that, or a stereo, things like that, down here. And then you have all the wires that go in behind the wall. You'll have about a 12-inch tile frame that goes around your fireplace. It'll look like it's quartz. And then we have more power outlets, and again, every 12 feet you'll have one of those. Recessed lighting up above, and heat sources coming from the ceiling. And another power outlet down here. Then coming into the understairs closet, there's a rectangle that's cut in the floor right here. That's going to be the crawl access. It's going to be the only way that you can get underneath your home into the crawl space. This will have insulation mounted to the lid from the bottom side, and it will have weather stripping around the edge of it, because we don't want any of that cold air to come up into the home. The floor underneath in the crawl area, it will all have batten insulation, and it'll all be held in place with twine. So it'll be crisscrossed with rope underneath there to make sure that it never sags. And there will be a light in here, and there's a light switch right here also inside the closet. And then your entryway from the inside of the home. Okay, then coming into the den area, have the window up front. You have power outlets, again, every 12 feet. And then in the den, you also have a cable outlet right here. Okay, and then light switch and power outlets. Okay, that's pretty much the first floor. One thing right here, this is where your thermostat will be mounted. It's on the wall that's on the side of the stairs that would be going up the stairs. One thing to keep in mind is that your furnace is upstairs. It's in a closet on the second story, and but it will turn on depending on this temperature right here. So if you're a little bit cooler downstairs, it will tell the furnace to turn on upstairs. And we'll show you how to balance that system at the next walkthrough. And then right at the top here, we have another rectangle box, and that is the doorbell chime. So when someone pushes the button at the door, that's where you'll hear the noise. So we have another rectangle box right up above me here. That is a combination smoke and carbon monoxide detector. Every bedroom will have a smoke detector in it. And, sorry, a machine's going by. Every bedroom will have a smoke detector inside of it. And then if it's in a hallway, it's going to be a combination smoke and carbon monoxide detector. You cannot tell the difference between them. They look exactly alike. And they are all wired together. So that means if one of them goes off, they are all going to go off at the same exact time. And they do have battery backups on them also, so you cannot make the noise stop until you get rid of the smoke. Because if you just pull the batteries out, they're still hardwired electrically. So the only way to make them stop is to get rid of the actual smoke. Okay? So we will go upstairs. Hello again. Okay, so we have the loft area right here with the window. And again, you'll get screens on any of the opening windows. We do have a light that's overhead. This will not be a recessed one. It's going to have the glass covers on them. There's two of them up here. And all of the bedrooms will have the same lights. The master will have a little bit bigger light, but it's more decorative, and it has 3 bulbs in it. So in here, we actually do have your cable installed. So there will be a place for a television and an outlet. And then we have light switches. And again, there's going to be an outlet every 12 feet. So all the way around this room, there's a bunch of outlets in here. Okay. Okay, so we'll start going into some bedrooms. So coming into the front bedroom, there is another power outlet here and another cable outlet for television. Right as you enter the room, up in the ceiling is another smoke detector. Again, every bedroom will have a smoke detector. And then a white light is wired in, and the heat source above the window. And again with the power outlets every 12 feet. When we get to this closet here, this is going to have sliding doors on it. So you'll have 2 bifold doors, and then you'll have a wire shelf in the back. And light switch right here to turn lights on. Okay. We'll go into another bedroom. Another smoke detector up above right as you walk through the door. And light switch right as you walk through the door. And then power outlets another closet with the sliding doors in it, and then a wire shelf will be mounted in the back. We have another light in the center of the room. Now some of these, you will notice that there are some plumbing pipes and heating ducts in some of these rooms. So you might want to keep this video handy if you're going to be putting any pictures or anything on the walls later, where you do not want to you don't want to hit any of these with screws or nails or anything like that. Recommend a stud finder, get one of those, and that might help you limit the chances of hitting something behind the wall. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this bedroom. As we come out, there is going to be a linen closet right here with some wire shelves in it. And then going into the main bath up here. So this will be a double vanity bath. So you have hot and the cold and the drain, and another hot and cold and drain for the 2 sinks. We have light switches that is going to be right inside the door, and power outlet right inside the door, and also for the fan that's up above the shower. This will have one light that is centered above the mirror. So there'll be one big mirror that goes across this total distance, and then there'll be a light that is centered between the 2 sinks, and it will have 3 lights on it. And then we have a power outlet here, the cold water for a toilet, and the drain for the toilet and the floor. And we do have your combo sink or combo tub and shower installed, and the shower head and controls, and the fan that's up above my head here. Okay. We already do this room?
No, we didn't.
Okay. So then we have one more bedroom up front. This house has a lot of bedrooms in it. So there is a smoke detector right inside the door, light switch, and then we have the power outlets that go all the way around the room again. And on the wall right over here, the same wall that the door is on, we do have your cable for our television. The light right in the center of the room, and that again will have the glass cover on it, it's not recessed. And then again with the sliding closet doors, and then a wire rack in the back. Okay. So as we come out and we're at the top of the stairs again, there is the furnace filter area right here. So right now we just have a real thin filter in there that is for just the construction purposes. So when we get closer to the completion of the home and we do our HVAC trims, we'll put in a filter that's about 3 to 4 inches thick. So we'll put in a lot bigger filter later. This will have a metal cover over the top of it. It'll have hinges on one side and it'll have a latch on the other side. So that you undo the latches and then that lid will swing down and then you can change the filter. Manufacturer's recommendations is that you change that filter about every 3 months or so. And again, we'll go over all this again at the next walkthrough. Okay. Let's go into the laundry room. So right as you start going into the laundry room, here's a good look at your furnace. That's easily accessible. And we have the gas line that's here for your furnace. That will eventually get hooked to the gas line of your furnace when we come back and light that off. There is a metal pan that's underneath your furnace, just in case any condensation or anything was to back up later. And then there's also an emergency shutoff down here. It looks like a hockey puck, and it has a red and a green light on it. And what that does is the bottom of it has foam on it. And if that foam gets wet, it will automatically shut off that furnace. So that if you're on vacation or anything like that, something happens to the furnace where water is getting in that pan, it'll automatically shut itself off instead of getting water all over the floor. Okay. as we get into the laundry room. This is your low volt panel here. So we do have Wave out here, not Comcast. And this is where they will need to have access when they come to hook up all your cable. So notice all these cables on the top here, these are going out to all of your bedrooms, your den, all the locations where you have cable running. So this is where they would put any routers or anything like that. And that'll have a cover over it also, metal cover. This is where your dryer is going to be located. So that's the vent for your dryer, the 220 outlet for your dryer. And then this is the water line for your washing machine. So you have your cold and your hot. This lever in the center, I have a lot of people that ask me about this. You flip this lever and it turns both of them on. So you don't have individual controls. You flip this one lever and it will turn on both of these waters. Another question that's commonly asked is which pipe, there's two holes here, which pipe is actually the drain pipe? So as Lena pans down, you can see they go to the exact same location. It does not matter which one you use. Okay. And then you have the power outlet for your washing machine. On this wall, there is heating that is inside this wall here. So again, if you're going to be mounting anything to this wall, you want to be aware of that. We have a whole house timer fan up here, and we have the control for that here. So we'll go into more depth on this in the next walkthrough, but basically what it does is it takes bad air out of your home, and then just the natural vacuum effect will allow fresh air to come into your home. And this timer you can adjust it to turn that fan on and off, and we'll go over that at the next meeting. And then you have light switches and so on here. Okay. We're getting close, guys. Thanks for your patience. As we go into the master bedroom, we do have the smoke detector that's right inside the doorway. We have power outlets, again, every 12 feet. We do have a cable and data that is on the wall, the same wall that your door is on. And then when we go across the room, we have a data line for phone. And this is normally where a bed would go, and that's why they put this line here. Then you have, again, with the power outlets. Looking at this wall from the bedroom side, you can see that this back panel is, it's going to be covered with drywall, and this will be covered with drywall, but you won't know where that is later. So this video might help you in the future if you're going to hang anything on this wall to be very careful about these two locations especially. Then we have more power outlets. This is a continuation of that air conditioning line set that's installed. And actually, we'll see how talented Lena is with her video. You go up the wall, and then it goes up into the attic and over to where that furnace is, and you can see it dropping down into the furnace. So that furnace is set up for you right now to be able to install the AC.
Okay.
Okay. There's another window for your master bedroom. It'll have a screen on it. And then as we go into the master bath, this room will have a door on it right here. And you'll have your toilet, the water supply for the toilet, the fan, and a light. And then you have your fan switch and your light switch on the wall. Over on this side, we have a double vanity. So you'll have your hot and your cold and your drain for one sink, hot, cold drain for another sink. This will be one big mirror that goes this total distance. And again, you'll have the one light switch at the top, the light fixture at the top that has 3 lights on it. And then you have a power outlet right here.
What's the Smurf tube for?
So what this is for is in case you were ever to do like a dish or anything like that later, and you needed to run wire inside your wall from the attic, you notice how it goes up about 20 inches up into the attic. The reason for that is after we put the drywall on here, the insulation is going to get blown in. It's not batted in like the walls. It's going to be blown in. So it's a fiber. And we always put this so that it'll be sticking out above the insulation line. You'll have about 18 to 20 inches of insulation blown up in the attic. So if you're ever to add a dish or anything later, then you would be able to find that line and run it down through and then make your connections. We do have a bath fan in here. We have your shower pan installed and your shower controls. This is about the only copper that you're going to see as far as plumbing inside your home. And the only reason that we have this copper is because this needs to be rigid so that it isn't going to be flopping around after we get the tile installed. So you'd have your controls down there and your shower head up there. Okay. Then we have a linen closet right here that's going to have some wire shelves in it. And then the master closet. So nice big closet in this house.